Hello and welcome to Paper Mache Patch. Today I'm going to show you how to make these beautiful mixed media tags. Gather your supplies and let's get started.
Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Today I am going to be making some mixed media tags so you can get started on tags for your Christmas presents. And I just kind of gathered some stuff from around my art room that I'm going to be using for these tags. I have a piece of mixed media paper here. I'd used it for something before, wasn't working, so I'm going to cut it up and make some tags. I have a stamp with some music notes on it. It's a very nice stamp. And of course inks. I have distress ink because I'm going to give one of them a kind of aged paper look. I've also have some gel medium to stick everything down, and this is a velvet dimensional paint. They're nice paints. They're very rich and tend to be a bit translucent, which is great for this project. They're by Art Anthology, and this color is brownie. And a whole bunch of trimmings and ribbons and stuff. So lace and ribbons and a piece of corrugated cardboard and also a burlap coffee bag. So I'm going to use all of these and we can make some lovely tags. So let's get started. Alright, to begin with, I'm going to work out where I'm going to put each tag. I'm going to do a snowman and 2 Christmas trees. So I think I can get about 3 out of this piece of paper. So I'm just going to roughly sketch so I have an idea of where I'm putting everything. So you can either do the snowman as 3 or you can do it as 2. That's up to you. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of roughly sketch that out, and then I'm going to turn it sideways and just roughly sketch a tree shape. I'm not looking for perfection here, just an idea of where I'm going to do everything. Okay, great. So the first step, I'm just gonna, excuse me, I'll get my scissors. I'm just gonna cut this one out. And same here. And here. Now you can make these big as you want, small as you want, doesn't matter. That's one tree shape, another tree shape, and let me get rid of these bits and pieces here. I'm not cutting out this one just yet. I'm going to instead move those out the way and go ahead and use my vintage ink. And I'm gonna distress this paper a bit so it looks a bit old. When it's working with inks, it's a good idea to work from something on to the paper. That's why I didn't want to cut it out just yet, in case that happened, which it sometimes does. So you work from the edge in. And a great tool if you want a softer look is one of these brushes. I got this from Tonic Studios, and these can give it a much softer look if you like. So I am now going to just draw that snowman again. I'm going to actually draw it on the reverse this time because I want to cut it out. That way I don't have to rub out my lines just yet. You can round up the bottom or you can leave it flat. That's up to you. And let me just fix that head. And there we have it. Somewhat of a snowman shape. You can round everything up a bit better if you like. So the next step is going to be to use this stamp. For this stamp, I'm going to use this ink here. In a case like this, you could probably get rid of that with a little water before the ink dries, because it is a dye paste ink pad. It might be dry, but I'm just going to try just to see, to soften it a bit. It seems to be dry though, but I'm not too bothered because it's mixed media and we'll just make it work. So once you've inked up this, just go ahead and stamp it onto your paper. And that is lovely. I'm going to put that aside. Let me close my ink pad. This is a VersaFine ink pad, pigment ink. It's fast drying and it goes on any media, so I just love it. Put that aside and let me just clean this off. I like to work on a silicone mat because everything comes right off. Plus it's heat proof, so I don't have to worry about my heat gun. So that's the first step for this one. I'm just going to put that aside and let that ink dry a bit and move on to my Christmas trees. Now for my first Christmas tree, I am going to coat it with, actually I'm going to use a smaller one for this. I'm going to coat it with the brown paint. So to do that, I'll just need a paintbrush here. And I'm going to go ahead and just give that a coat of paint. Once it's covered, put that aside to dry also. And move on to my next one. For this one, I'm going to go ahead and add a coat of gel medium. And I have a piece of my burlap. Then I'm going to stick that down like that. Set that aside to dry. First, let me just trim off the excess hair. And I'm going to leave everything to dry now, and when I come back we will add any little embellishments. Alright, the next stage for this one is I'm going to get that black ink again, and I'm going to use that to ground the edges. But before I do that, we're going to add some details for the face. So I'm just going to go ahead and outline those circles that are missing. A good thing to use is a charcoal pencil. This one is a soft charcoal, I mean a hard one, but the soft ones I actually prefer because you can blend them out a lot easier. Colored pencils like this can also work just fine. Just a matter of putting in where those marks would be for the circles. And then I'm going to go ahead and just go around the edges, darkening them. There we go. Actually, I think a darker charcoal would work right there, so let me just grab one. Here we go. This is a soft one, so it comes out a lot darker. There we go, that's much better. And you can soften it a little with your finger if you like, if you don't want that harsh line. And then we can add the face and some buttons and so on. Face is really simple, of course, with just 2 eyes and a nose. I might actually look for some buttons for that, some black buttons, and then draw on the carrot nose and color that in with a marker, and then maybe some black buttons here also. So I will be back to this one in just a minute. This one now, I want to use some of this cardboard. So I'm just working out where I want the cardboard. If I want to cover all the tree, if I want to do just part of the tree. I think I'm going to do the top half and then maybe a little at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is just add that here. And then go ahead and stick this on. We will trim off the excess at the back. The good thing about using the gel medium is that it grips right away. And we're going to allow that to dry. It's time to decorate our snowman now. So I couldn't find any buttons small enough for the eyes, but I did find these that we can use for his buttons going down here. What I've also decided to do is to use a piece of orange felt for his nose and a piece of black felt for his scarf. And I will use a Posca black marker, which is basically an acrylic marker, to draw on the eyes and the mouth. So let's just cut a little bit, just over 1/4 inch in width of black felt for the scarf, and I'm just going to cut off a little end right here for the nose. For the nose, I'm just going to cut point like a little triangle from one point to the next, and we'll see if that's too long. Yeah, it's a tad bit too long, so just a little bit off the end there. And that should take care of his nose. Alright, so I think his nose is actually very cute right there, and we can do his mouth right there. If you prefer, I would suggest marking where you're going to put your eyes and stuff with a pencil first. Before you go ahead with the marker. So let's just make those eyes. With that marker, and the mouth, I'm actually just going to do in dots. While that's drying, we can go ahead and stick on our buttons here. Wherever you want them. I don't want it too close to the chin because I'm going to put the scarf there. If you wanted to go one step further, you could put some thread through those holes if you like. So I have a glue gun here warming up. You can, of course, use the gel medium if you're not in a hurry, but being I have the glue gun, I'm going to go ahead and put those 3 dots and then stick those buttons in place. And for the scarf, just wrap it around the neck. Fold one piece under. And bring that one over. I'm trying to do mine more to the side because I don't want it to cover my buttons. So once I've decided where I'm gonna stick it, a dab of hot glue will help tremendously keeping it in place while we're sticking it down. Another dab of hot glue there. You can get off all your strings. I wish they had glue, hot glue that wasn't stringy like that. And then we just have to put our nose in place right there. So I'm going to put a little bit, without burning myself, on the back of that nose. Then I'm just going to stick that in place quickly. Alright, that's coming along nicely. The next stage will be to add 2 arms, one on either side, and also the hanger. For this one, I'm just going to use the raffia as a hanger. I'm going to stick that on the back with my glue gun also. And for the arms, what I'm going to do is look for those very stiff pieces of raffia and use them as the arms. If you don't have any stiff pieces, I guess you could just plait some together or braid. But right here seems stiff enough to me, so I'm going to go ahead and just snip that bit off. And that can be one arm and that can be the other. And then we're going to flip him over. Make a mental note where you want that arm. You don't want it too high, but you don't want it too low either. And just glue that in place. And do the same on the other side. Once you're happy with how that's looking, go ahead and add the tag at the back, just with a blob of glue. I'm also going to secure the back of the scarf. So get your blob of glue rather, and just go ahead and put that tag there. Use something to push it down other than your finger. And there you have it. You can set him aside for the glue to set. And that's the first of our tags finished. He's actually quite cute. So let me set him aside. I will come back to the other ones now. Okay, so we have these 2 left. What are we going to do with these 2? My mind tends to change as I go along. So let's decide. I have my trimmings here. I think I'm going to put a piece of burlap on the bottom of that one. So I'm going to do that quickly so that can dry while we're working on the other ones. So let me just grab that and the paintbrush here and get this covered right here. I think the burlap will go nicely with the cardboard. Great, let's put that aside and we'll get back to that one in a minute. Okay, so this one now. I have all of these trimmings somebody gave me ages ago and I've never used them. So I'm going to try use them up in my mixed media pieces. These flowers are quite cute and I think one would look really nice on top of that tree right there. So I'm just trimming up any edges, and then I'm going to put a blob of glue and just stick that on the top there. I definitely like how that's looking. And then I have to put some kind of trim at the bottom because I'm thinking that it's just too boring like that. So I could go ahead and use the same thing, but I think that would be a bit too much. So instead I'm going to use this trim and add it down here. Okay, this trim is also quite cute. We can do it that way, we can do it that way. It doesn't really matter. But I think I'm going to do it this way and add 2 rows. So let's set 1 and 2. So the first row can go here. And I think I'm going to put the second row right there. I might actually go all the way up with this because I'm liking how it's looking. I might do 1 more row. This is how it is when I'm working on something. Even though I have a plan when I begin, it's never really the plan when I end. So I just have to work with it. Alright, there we go. I'm going to trim off the excess, but I'm just going to let those cool for a minute. You can either trim them or you can fold them under. It's up to you. So let me just let that cool for 1 more minute. Flip that over and go ahead and trim. And that looks quite nice. I think I'm going to leave it like that and go ahead and add a hang-on. Now we have this gold. I think this gold would look nice for a hanger for this one. So snip off a piece as long as or as short as you want it. And like before, flip the tag over and just put some hot glue and make sure both edges are caught in the hot glue, or stuck in it rather. Use a pencil or something other than your finger to push that down. Make sure it's secure. And there you have your second tag. Snip that off. And let's put that one aside. Alright, our final one now. Where are we going with this one? Let's trim this off first. I think I might do it similar to the last one. I'm liking that flower on the tree. But I think this one I might go around the edges some more with the black. I'm thinking that there. And now we have quite a bit of this. I think I'm going to use it there. Just trimming it up a bit, not too fancy. Add your hot glue. There's too much hot glue. I just use a pencil point and scrape it away as much as I can. Snip off any excess. And you can go around this if you like with the ink. And then finally, I'm gonna add the flower on top. Flip that over and decide, are you gonna use raffia? I think I prefer the gold ribbon again for this one. A bit of that gold ribbon. Make sure both ends get stuck in the glue. Use your pencil to just move it around and press it down in place. And there you have it. Now that one is finished also. So let's gather all of these so you could see them. Remove some of this out the way. It's amazing how messy your work area can get when you are crafting. So here are our 3 tags that we did today. I think they're quite cute. This is our lace Christmas tree, our snowman, and of course our final Christmas tree with the corrugated cardboard and burlap. Thank you so much for joining me. Please head over to my blog, SuzetteHussey.com, and be sure to subscribe to my newsletter. I have a new website, papermachepatch.com, and I have loads of courses on there. So it would be great if you could look at that also. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for joining me.